A few days ago, I posted a quite interesting chord progression. It sounded like this. Many of you were asking, it feels like we are playing a lot of chords, but these chords always sound the same. And it's true in a way. The only thing that I'm actually changing is the bass note. The note A and the note D are actually the same for each one of these chords. Now we are in the key of D major, and the bass line is very simple. We're playing the D, the C sharp on fret 4 and the B on fret 2, the A, the G on fret 3, the F sharp on fret 2, the G, and the A. So it's literally the D major scale. It's a descending D major scale, and for each one of these notes, we are going to build a chord. Now, the awesome thing is that we are only going to be using 2 fretted notes, the A and the D. Of course, these 2 notes will have a completely different harmonic relationship with the bass note. For example, when we play these 2 notes, over the D, we're playing a D5. Then we play the C sharp, so it's a D5 with the C sharp on the bass. Then we have the B on the bass, which makes this chord a B minor 7. Then we have the A on the bass, which becomes an A sus4. The G on the bass, which makes this chord a G sus2, the F sharp on the bass, which makes this chord a D5 with the F sharp on the bass, back to the G, and back to the A. So you can familiarize yourself with the chords by plucking the strings simultaneously like this. But you can also play a very simple finger picking pattern with the thumb, index, and middle. And we can do it twice for each chord. Of course, the E index is always on the 3rd string and the middle always on the 2nd string. Thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, middle. It sounds nice, right? I mean, it's such a simple concept. Now, if you want to make it even more interesting, you can add the 1st string open, which of course is going to change the chords even more. Now, with the 1st string open, we have even more colorful chords. We got a D sus2, a D sus2 over C sharp, a B minor 11, and the A sus4. A G6-9, a D sus2 with the F sharp on the bass, or in this case it could be also a D add 9 since we are also playing the 3rd of the chord, G6-9, and the A sus4. Now we're going to use a different finger picking pattern. Now we're going to use 2 finger picking patterns. The first one will have the ring finger on the 1st string. So we have thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, and ring. So we're only going to play the 1st string 1 time. This is the finger picking pattern 1. Now for the 2nd chord, we're going to use the simplified finger picking pattern with just the thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, and middle. And we're gonna alternate these two patterns. So this is the finger picking pattern 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And on the last chord, we're gonna play the thumb, index, middle, and ring. We make it conclusive since this is the last chord of this section. I want to show you how we can add another element to this chord progression, and this is a melodic element. We're going to add a melody, and the cool thing is that the melody is always going to be the same, just 4 notes. It sounds like this. So the 4 notes of the melody will be the note D on the fret number 3, the note E, the first string open, the note F sharp on the fret number 2, and back to the D. And we're not going to play this melody on all the chords. Instead, we're going to just alternate between a chord and a chord with the melody. So for the first chord, we don't really play the melody. For the second chord, we're going to play the bass note, which is the C sharp, and then the melody on the fret number 3, bass, first string open, bass, fret number 2, bass, and the D again on the fret number 3. So I changed the left hand fingering just to make the chord easier to play. Now the third chord, we don't play the melody. And for the A sus4, we do play the melody. G6-9, no melody. D over F sharp, yes melody. Back to the G6-9. And the A sus4 with no melody. We're just gonna change the finger picking pattern again. We can take it a step further and play the chord progression in a completely different position, like this. Quite interesting, right? It's the same chord progression, but with a completely different color. Now the chords are a little bit more challenging since we are playing in a different position. We got the D chord. We have the D with the C sharp on the bass. The B minor. And the A. Now it's really important that we understand how to pluck the strings. So for example, for the D, we're only gonna pluck the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. For the D with the C sharp on the bass, we're only gonna pluck the 6th, the 3rd, and the 1st string. For the B minor 7 chord, we're only gonna pluck the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. And for the A, we're only gonna pluck the 5th, 3rd, and 1st string. Now we're gonna move back to position 1 and play the G major 7 and the D over F sharp, back to the G7, G major 7, and the A sus4. Now we're gonna change the finger picking pattern here. We're gonna have it like this. So it's interesting because we are still changing the finger picking pattern. We have it twice. The first one is very simple. We have thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, and ring. With the first string. Remember that the index is always on the 3rd, the middle on the 2nd, and ring on the 1st. For the second chord, we're gonna change the finger picking pattern. We're gonna have thumb, index, and ring. And we do it twice: thumb, index, ring, thumb, index, ring, thumb, and index. And we're gonna keep the same pattern. We're gonna play the finger picking pattern 1 on the B minor 7. And the finger picking pattern 2 on the A. Now when we move back to the G major 7, we kind of make it quite melodic. The G major 7 is a beautiful sounding chord, guys. And we're playing just with the thumb, index, and then middle and ring together. And we can change the voicing within the chord. D over F sharp, G major 7, and the A sus4. It's really up to you how you want to interpret these chords. I really like to change the singing note of the chord. Now, in the last section I was playing way more. In fact, I was playing the full chords with the melody at the same time.